What up? Happy Tuesday, happy Tuesday. What is going on, everyone? How's everyone doing out there? What?
I let you have your happy Tuesday moment.
Hey, thank you, because you killed the last couple. Like, damn.
I was excited to bring it back, too.
What is going on, everyone? I'm Shadell, co-host of Page and Simpsons. I feel like I'm slipping up on this completely. Co-host of Page and Simpsons. I'm joined by my lovely fiance,
Lauren.
Like, I don't know what is happening, but like, I'm so off my game when it comes to like introducing us.
Get it together.
Oh man, what is going on, everyone? I feel like now that the time has changed, I feel like a slight bit of like, what is it? Seasonal depression.
Doesn't the time not change everywhere?
Only in Arizona. I'm not sure about anywhere outside of the U.S., but I know Arizona doesn't like acknowledge that whole time
That's
change.
so weird. Did you hear that they want to like take it away in Connecticut?
Sure, I'm cool with it.
But
Time change is annoying.
Weird though, because they keep trying to want to do their own stuff and drive us into the ground, and it's like I don't know.
The time change is annoying. Like, I hate.
It would be weird if everyone else was doing it, and Connecticut's just like no. Because then what happens?
Someone has to take.
I travel to Massachusetts and it's a different time.
Okay. An hour difference?
That would be so chaotic.
Okay.
And confusing, so.
I would assume, like, your GPS would calculate, be like, oh, it takes you an hour and 30 minutes, even though it takes you, like, 30 minutes to, like, get over to, I don't know.
See, it's weird, yeah.
Yeah, I don't.
Exactly. But, yeah, I'm tired. Even though we were supposed to get an extra hour.
Yeah, it's that whole adjusting period where it's just, you feel weird. Off, and it's going to happen for me for, like, the next few weeks, and I'm just like, man, what is up? I feel, like, off. Oh, man. So, guys, we got some juicy stuff to get into. Some real stuff. Like
Juicy Smollett.
Okay. Now, I liked the way we were going with, like, digging into, like, these relationship terms and different things like that over the last couple episodes. So I want to continue this trend that we're on. Mm-hmm. And this episode, I want to focus on toxic relationships. Yeah. Because that is a common thing. We can probably name a number of people that have been in. I'm sure everyone listening can. And I just want to talk about it because I say this because of a story that came out last week about a former Boston college student where, man, it's a sad story. So to give you some backstory, from what I'm seeing, I'm reading this off New York Times, and I also saw some like news reporting videos of it. This guy's girlfriend, what is her name? Do they give her a name?
Crazy. They
do not. Her boyfriend. Oh, I don't know how to pronounce it. I'm going to kill this name. I'm sorry. So her name is In Young Yu. She's 21, and her boyfriend was Alexander Urtula. He was 22. They both attended Boston College, over at Boston. I'm going off the cuff. Don't judge me.
You could have just said they attended Boston College.
Yeah.
Hello.
So this is a wild story. So I guess they were probably going through some issues. Whatever. Sounds like she was the controller in this situation where like something happened. I'm not sure if it goes into detail on this article I'm reading, but essentially, So here goes. Over the course of their 18 months of their relationship, the abuse became more intense and demeaning in the days and hours before his death. Like, this girl sent him 47,000 text messages saying, like, go kill yourself. You need to die. Like, just stuff you would never tell someone, especially someone you're in a relationship with, because you would hope the person that you're with is, like, riding for you, not against you.
47,000. I don't even know if you and I have texted that much in our whole 5 years.
It's like
47,000. I mean, maybe by now, but little, because it's like each little text add up, like an emoji or whatever. But like 47,000. All of like telling him that's what all those said. She just kept sending them or something.
Yeah, I guess like what happened was like they say in the 2 months before her boyfriend's death. The couple exchanged more than 75,000 text messages, and then they're like, including that is the 47,000. So she sent majority of those text messages in that 75,000.
What, every second of every day? Because 2 months?
But you just, because I imagine
like that.
I imagine so. If she's sending that much, she's probably sitting there like saying, "Yo, check in with me when you're in this class. When you're going here, what are you doing here? Like constant check in, seeing what you're doing."
Okay.
Like,
so like quick math: 75,000 divided by 60 days is 1,250 texts a day.
dog, we don't even text that much.
A day.
We don't even text that much in a month, or it's
right. No, and you and I didn't even text that much in a day when we were not living together. Like 1,250 a day.
Yeah.
Like again, do you?
But it's like, at what point does the girl sit there and say, "Whoa, am I going all extreme?" But I guess not. If you're someone that's that,
if you're consumed in it and you think you think it's
justified.
That's the word I was looking for. Then no. Wow.
And it's tough to say because in my mind, I'm thinking, if I was the guy, I wouldn't stand for it. But I get it. Like, we were not in the greatest place, going back and forth and everything, and like having fights. And it's like, I get it, where you're in the place and you feel like
those text fights are not great.
Yeah, and you feel like you want to leave, but at the same time you have some type of attachment. I feel like we kind of want that closure, so that's why we stay like in it, hoping that at some point there will be that that bit of closure. But we're still like, we don't understand, like, dog, this is gonna be a continuation. It's not gonna fix itself.
Right.
And it's so sad because this guy, so I guess they were able to like ping her phone or something, because your phone's always hitting the towers, something like that, where they found that she was there in the parking lot where her boyfriend jumped off the parking lot and committed suicide like 90 minutes before he was gonna go graduate, where his family came down from New Jersey, or came up, wherever that is. But it's like,
can you imagine how his family feels?
Well, think of it. Like, imagine if that was like your cousin or your brother, your anything, like, and you go, you're like, oh man, my brother's going to go graduate, my cousin's graduate, we're going to go see him. You probably haven't seen him in like a year, 6 months, whatever.
That, and just in general, can you imagine how they feel towards her? Like,
I would so hate that person.
That's next level. Like, that's not just like, oh, I hate you for breaking my whoever's heart. Like, if people break up and whatever the circumstances are, like, that's like next level.
And then,
because he wouldn't have done that. It was complete manipulation.
Yeah. And I know when I played the video for you of the news report, you're like, oh, isn't this familiar? And yeah, people compare it to the case that happened with the 17-year-old kid back, I think, like 2-3 years ago.
Yeah.
I think he killed himself being in a garage with the car running, something like that. And his girlfriend was like saying, kill yourself. I really think social media fuels a lot of our like anxiety in relationships, saying like, man, like, yeah, like our episodes about expectations and like things like that, like, there's something behind it where we feel like we always have to be on this person, or they have to listen to us and everything. And like, I know for me, I hate being that person where I feel like, yo, I'm gonna control this person. I want to know what they're doing at all times. I'm like, I feel like that's super stressful, and people don't realize that. We feel like we have to sit there. Like, trust isn't like, that's not, you don't trust someone if you're sitting there texting them saying, hey, let me know when you get here. Let me know what's happening here. Like, you're always checking in. You always want to know. Like, let the person live. Like,
like, there's a difference, because there's a difference between the whole like, oh, tell me when you get home safely, and the whole like, oh, different stuff like that. And like, if it's like a one-off, and I don't know, you're just like, oh, like, say it's like, I don't know, raining really hard or something, and you're like, let me know when you get there, or like, I don't know. That's different than, yeah, if you're like texting every 5 minutes and you're like, what are you doing now? Who are you talking to now? What are you eating now? Like,
Because I'm thinking, like, what else could you be texting in that time frame other than like constantly being on that person? Mm-hmm. And that's major insecurity, and a lot of things can attribute to that.
I had that insecurity in my last relationship. I did that sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, granted, he gave me reason because we had a lot of trust issues, and like he messed up multiple times about stuff he would hide from me and lie to me about and stuff. So I mean that fueled it. It wasn't just out of nowhere that I was like, oh, I'm just gonna be crazy. Like, so I did that, and like with you, I wouldn't do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's different because you've never given me a reason to do that. See, like, I'll talk to you if you want to like text when you're out, cool. But like, I'm not over here like in my head being like, he could be doing something like wrong right now. Like he could be doing something detrimental to our relationship.
So here's my next thing for you. So let's say that happens. Let's say I go out with the guys. My friends talk me into going to a strip club. We go to the strip club.
Oh, we going to the extreme.
I mean, it's not really the extreme.
Okay.
I don't really see how that's extreme. I'm saying we go to a strip club and I get a lap dance from some girl.
I mean,
that's
people have different views. Like, they're in relationships, people like agree to not do that.
But
so
okay, in that scenario where I haven't done anything to ruin your trust before, but then my friends are like, hey, we should go to a strip club. Like, I've never gone, all this stuff. I'm like, hey, okay, so sure, we'll go there. Like, I have a few dollars on me. Sure, we'll see what this experience is. And I end up getting a lap dance. I come home. I'll probably tell you because I don't care. How would you feel?
Just a lap dance?
I mean, yeah, what else would you get at a strip club?
I mean, I don't know. Can't they, like, do stuff?
No, it's a strip club.
All right, maybe that's only movies.
They have rules.
I don't know. I thought I don't know, they could get extra money if they,
Nope.
do stuff.
That's not how this works.
All right. I don't know. That's not my world. I mean, I'd probably feel some type of way. Yeah. I mean, again, I think that, honestly, is where, like, the 3 C's come in.
Okay.
Where it's like, okay, I have to be okay with you doing that. And we have to talk about, like, what that means. Like, what can like, realistically, what can happen when you go? And is that fine? Like, I feel like it's more of a communication thing rather than, like, if you just were like, screw what you want, I'm going to do this with my guys, and what happens, happens. Like, that's what ends up ruining a relationship. No, I think it's, like, more of, okay, so I know that I have a 50-50 shot if she might be okay with this. Let me, like, talk to her about it. I feel like it's more of a that rather than, like,
but if it's, like, in the moment,
but
I'm not talking to you about it.
Right, but I think that in mature relationships, then that shouldn't happen. I feel like that's where problems arise. Because if you know it's inherently, if you know it's something that, like, could cause an issue.
See, I don't think it could because, here's my point of view. Because I'm
a guy.
I work differently. If you went and did that and it was just a lap dance, which I'm not sure how a guy would lap dance on a girl, so don't quote me on that one. I'm not sure.
Wow, okay.
Do you just get a guy's butt shaking? Like, I can't really imagine that. I don't know.
Dang.
But I'm like, okay. I mean, if that's so that happens and you're telling me the truth, I'm like, I'm not saying you won't be bothered or I won't be bothered. That'll still happen, but, like, it'll be setting up rules for, okay, if this happens again, like, yeah, it's going to be like...
But right, so see, what I'm saying is rather than having, like, we were talking about this the other day, I feel like, reactive and proactive.
Yeah.
Rather than being reactive and being like, next time if this happens because someone got hurt here, it's better to be proactive and be like, okay, so, like, thinking of doing this. What's your thoughts on it? Like, and that's just a genuine, like, respect within the relationship type of thing.
So let's say I go out with my guys, a few months later, and something was to happen like that again. But what happens then?
So that we didn't talk about it?
No, we talked about it. We came up with, like, hey, I'm going to tell you beforehand.
Okay.
And something happens, I get thrown off guard. I'm not focused. I forget to let you know.
So you're gonna alert me, and and so what? In the conversation, I take it I was fine with it. You going?
As long as you're told.
Okay.
Is what I'm thinking.
Okay. And then you didn't.
And then I went because you were like, in the moment, we go again. I forget to tell you what happens then.
I don't know. See, that's kind of annoying.
I see. I agree. I'm with you. I'm rocking with you.
It's like, that's where, right, because that's where, well, you and we had a mature conversation. We had an agreement. it's a touchy subject, so we have to value the other's opinion, and we have to like, you know,
here's another thought.
That's where you value the relationship over those like outside things.
Here's another thing. This is gonna get off that part of the topic, because you just reminded me earlier before we started recording, and you were just talking about your hair and how you're gonna cut your hair for the wedding and everything.
After, not for the wedding.
Regardless, you're gonna cut your hair. And it just reminded me. I'm like, yeah, wasn't in your past relationship you were told like, yo, my hair has to be. I'm not sure what it is. What was it? It has to be a certain way.
I wasn't inherently told.
It was insinuated.
It was heavily insinuated and made known that he preferred the longer hair. And I had the feeling, I might have cut it like once in that relationship. I can't remember. And I had the feeling that he didn't approve of it, really. He didn't prefer it. Therefore, I felt like I wouldn't be as attractive to him, or I wouldn't be, you know, as beautiful or whatever. And so I just kept it despite whatever I wanted to do.
Now,
which, yes, sounds awful. And that's why then, like, I think it was a few months after our relationship ended, I like chopped it to like a little above shoulder length, and that was my kind of regaining that control.
So, not we just saw Power, so I'm not trying to coerce you into this. Do you like take this with your own thoughts, your own free will? Do you feel like that was in a sense toxic? Because even though the person didn't state like, "Hey, I like your hair not to be cut low," you knew it was like insinuating. You know what I mean, like short, whatever.
Yes.
But it was insinuated.
I mean, we both contributed to a toxic relationship, to be honest. Okay. It wasn't an all around good. It wasn't good. And I mean, I've talked about different situations here on the podcast. It's just, and like looking back, I'm able to open up and talk about it just because it's something that happened in my life. It was such like a big part of my like high school to college kind of life and transition. And I'm past it now that I can actually like look back kind of objectively at like how I acted and how everything kind of came together, and what wasn't so great, what shouldn't have been accepted, or what should have, or X, Y, and Z. And so overall, yeah, I mean, we both contributed to what you can consider as a toxic relationship. Because if you want to think about it, our breakup came as a like complete shock to everybody, because we always came off like everything was perfect willy-nilly. Yeah. And it wasn't most of the time.
Yeah.
Like it was probably more bad than good. Because I mean, you're talking like pretty much all the time, like every day there was something that we were fighting about.
How old were you at the time? I'm drawing blanks, like 2021, something like that. Like when it ended.
Oh, when it
something like that, I feel.
Hold on, this. What am I now? 26, 21, yeah.
So this couple was like, the guy was 22, she was 21.
Oh, okay.
Tell me if I'm too extreme when I say this, but I feel, and how I'm probably gonna push to our kids, where I'm like, you should probably hold off, because I don't feel like you're emotionally or mentally ready to get into a relationship until you understand yourself and where you're going.
See, and maybe because again we've had different kind of relationship lives, I kind of disagree with that, because although yes, it was hurt I had to deal with, and it's something I always remember, and like yada yada, it's a thing in my life. It's still, I still believe everything happens for a reason, and the relationships I had ultimately led to us and led to where I am right now.
Man.
And I really think that, I mean, because I was thinking about this the other day, how, if we had broken up at a completely different time, like I always said how we probably shouldn't have gone past a few months together. And, we went 4.5 years together. And if we had broken up at a different time, I mean, there's no way I'd be with you right now. And who knows what I would have gotten into. It could have gotten a lot worse. I could have gone with someone who was like, physically abusive or something. Like, who knows, like what could have happened. And so literally I think about that, how it's like that day of like the breakup like had to happen. It had to happen that way and that day, and like everything had to line up for how this all happened. So like there's that aspect, and there's also the fact that through relationships you do learn stuff, because I am able to look back now and I'm able to see, okay, where were the parts that maybe I can grow from, that I or I have grown from since, and that I've bettered myself and for us. So,
I agree with you, but of course, because we come from two different point of views. I come with just my own own experience, like you do.
Mm-hmm.
So like I saw it as like I see my friends in like various relationships. I see how they're handling this. This is what I'm not gonna do. So like I'm not gonna go crazy like this girl and be like, yo, like
that's easier said than done.
How?
I still, and you and I have had this conversation before. Mm-hmm. I still believe if you experience something firsthand, it's a better lesson. Because it's more of an imprint, and it's more of it sticks more. And also that's just me, because I've always been the kind of person, how like in high school they go over like, what kind of learner are you? Do you listen, like, do you need to hear it or write it or do it? I've always been a do it person. So like which makes a lot of sense with my career now, but so I don't know.
Yeah, but it's really subjective. It's really based on that person. Because if that's what you need. So if our kid comes and like, man, I realized I'm someone that needs to, do it to understand it and see where my wrongs are. Okay, that's cool. I knew for me, dog, all I have to do is, for the most part, not fully jump on that horse, is like see what everyone else is doing and be like, I'm not doing that. Because like I've seen a lot of bad situations in high school where I'm like, it always ends the same.
Well, and the other interesting thing about that is like, you can, because I've done that too, where I see how someone acts or whatever situation is, and I'm like, oh, I'll never do that, or I don't like that, or whatever. Again, it's easier said than done, because then how many times do we say something like that, and then inadvertently, like subconsciously, we do something similar? Like, it happens. So it's like, as much as you want to avoid something, it can, and I mean, that could be if you're in it or not, but it can still happen.
I don't know about that one. Because like I'm going to throw, like, it's the simplest one, which we fight on all the time, which is like, yo, I'm chill. Like, I keep everything relaxed. Like, if you want to do something, by all means, do it. If you would, like, I don't hold anyone back, because I would like the same for me. And it's like, no, like another simple point where like for example, let's say we were in a toxic relationship and you go and cheat on me.
Okay.
Dog, it would hurt, it would bother me, all that stuff. But I'm not gonna flip out and like get mad and all that stuff. Like that person made their choice. It is what it is, and I'm just like, okay, let me find my exit. Stage left. Like,
right. Well, your reactions are different. That's all it is.
But it's because at the end of the day, I realized growing up and going through like various just whatever issues, the world doesn't stop just because I have a problem. Like, the world doesn't like say, oh man, Shadell's feeling real sad today.
We all know that on some level.
We know that, but I really understood that growing up as a teenager and going through whatever experiences I went through and being like, man, this is tough. But I still see cars moving. I still see birds chirping. Like, everyone should be stopping for me. Like, I'm going through a tough time.
I get where you're coming from, but at the same time, your feelings are valid.
I'm not saying that. I still said I'm gonna feel.
Yeah, it just sounds like you're downplaying it.
Not at all. I don't know how am I downplaying it?
Because you're basically saying, you're like, oh, this terrible, awful thing could happen to me, whatever it is. But oh well. Like, there's worse. It's it's that mindset. It's the whole mindset of, oh, there's always worse, therefore I can't complain kind of thing.
No, I'm going to still complain, but I'm still keep moving.
Okay.
Because it's like, I
mean, yeah,
everyone I don't understand.
Moving. Listen.
Obviously, yeah. But, like, my time frame of me keep on moving is probably different than others, because it's like, I
was always one of those people, speaking of like keep on moving, I never like missed a beat after breakups. Like, you know, there would be people like all the time, like in high school and stuff. If they had a breakup, like they'd take a day or two off, like from school and all that kind of stuff. And I'm not necessarily advocating to do what I did because, hey, whatever your mental health needs is probably the most important. But for me, like every breakup, I still like I went into school the next day and I did like I handled what I had to. I went to my job or whatever I was doing at the time. And yeah, so I get the whole life moves on thing because I'm not going to sit here and be like, let me just shrink into.
Because I look at it as no matter what situation I've ever been in, me being angry or upset at the person has never like gained me anything. So that's how I look at life as being.
Yeah.
But that's just my point of view. I want to jump into like this other topic that still relates to toxic relationships. And this is interesting because it's coming from the point of view of someone that is a toxic person, notices that they're the toxic person and they want to change. So I'm going to read their post real quick here.
That's interesting because a lot of times a toxic person doesn't see it.
Yeah.
They they're cool with themselves.
Well, listen to this. So they go on to say, I'm in a toxic relationship, but I'm the one who's toxic. I'm very selfish, inconsiderate of my partner's feelings and unable to give them space. I have very high expectations from my partner, but do not reciprocate those same expectations on my part. Is the relationship worth salvaging, or should I end it in hopes that they would find someone better who can care for them like they care for me?
I mean, well, a good answer to the last question she had is like, first of all, even if you ended the relationship and they went somewhere else, you would still need to work on that because this next relationship you get in would end up being the same way if you still are that way. So, I mean, there's that ultimately. So then it's just a matter of, does this person still authentically want to be with you? And if the answer is yes, then it's time to work on yourself and make sure you're not completely going to lose them because obviously you see the parts that would be helpful, but it's up to both of them. It's up to the person who she's with to either agree or disagree about staying and then her to work on it.
So what I like about this in the very first place is just the awareness. Like, I love when people can be introspective and like understand themselves and be like, oh,
it's like the whole the first step is admitting.
I feel like that is so real, and like first part, like I have to congratulate that because that's dope when you like understand like, oh yeah, this is the toxic part of me.
Yeah, when you can own up to like those parts of you, that's where the empowerment comes from because then you can actually like deal with it, you know, like versus like if you're just someone who's like, no, I'm not really that way, especially if you recognize it and you still deny it, like, and you're just like, no, you
and this definitely ties into the 3 C's, like the whole thing with consenting. If you got to check with the person to see if they're still okay with being in it, communication, and it really compromise because it really comes down to like, okay, we sit here, have a conversation. And if you see that you're a selfish person, like, okay, what way are you selfish? Like, what do you do?
Depends what it is too, because sometimes you should be selfish.
Well, that's why you have to like see what it is. Like, it's really talking to your partner, and like I take things bit by bit. So I focus on like if I have something happening or I have like a bad habit that's starting to form, I'm like, okay, today I'm going to try to not get upset at you today.
Thanks.
And then tomorrow will come around and I'm like, okay, tomorrow's here. I'm going to try to not get upset at you today. And you just continue to put it in your head like every day, just a mental reminder, like a workout.
It really is.
And it's like
it is
sooner or later,
workout.
Once you continue, because as you're telling yourself this throughout the day, and these incidents come up where we're fighting or something, and it's like, okay, I know I don't want to trigger myself into that space. I'm going to remain calm, speak calm,
right,
and see how we can communicate to get.
And
this
it's
handled.
hard.
Yeah.
It's really hard to rewire your brain in any capacity.
Yeah.
So, like, that's the thing is, like, and you're most likely going to have slip-ups. Like, it's not one of those things that all of a sudden you flip a switch and you're like, okay, I completely 180'd right now. Like, no. But, I mean, it's worth it. It takes a long time and it takes a lot of practice, but...
And, like, if the person you're with, if they, like, catch you slipping up, they can call it out. You say it should be on both people. I really feel like I feel like it's 80-20 or maybe 70-30.
No, I'm saying on his part, he has to agree or disagree to stay in the first place. Because she's basically saying, she's like, should we stay together or end it?
Well, we don't know if it's a he or she because they don't have any
whatever
pronouns. But, yeah.
So whoever she's with, yeah.
They.
Like, yeah.
They are with.
No, yeah, but so that person needs to then agree, obviously, to either be in the relationship or not. That's where I'm saying that person's like,
yeah,
part really is, because obviously if that person maybe is so far gone, they're done, then you can let them leave. Like, don't, hold them there for nothing.
That is the interesting part when they say, like, I'm unable to give my partner space. And it reminds me of the article about, the Boston kid that committed suicide, which, again, it's super sad. And it's like, I feel like a lot of these toxic relationships are like, yeah, this person is like always down your back, like checking on you.
Yeah.
Like, they don't want to lose you. They want to like keep in power.
And I feel like a lot of times there's no justification. Like, even though I did that in the past, like, I had a justification because he had, like, messed up and kind of messed with my whole trust and stuff. I feel like these other people are kind of, like, they're just on from the beginning, and they're just, like, if you ever do anything without me, it's an issue.
No, you say there's no justification, but they probably have been burnt in some other relationship or in some other way.
True.
So
true.
I say that to say, is that really...
Everyone brings their baggage in.
Is that really a justification? And that's really just... It's not really you justifying it. It's just... You got your own issues.
Right, and that's where, like, everyone brings baggage in, but then you have to realize what it is and, like, try to work on it.
Yeah.
Because could you imagine, like, if you just keep bringing baggage, like, if you have, like, 10 relationships, like, semi-long-term or, like, serious relationships, okay? And then, like, one to the next, you just keep bringing stuff and you're, like... not doing anything to better yourself, you're just like it's a mess by the end. Like you're now you have like pockets of problems from each person added together, and it's like this ball of just not good. So yeah,
I wouldn't say to leave the person you're with if you are aware that you're the toxic person. It's just having that conversation and being like, I see my bad traits. How can I do better? And just working on it. Because, like, we still go through our tough times. Like, we've had issues in the past that were really bad, lots of fights. And it's like things have gotten less aggressive, I guess you could say. We still have issues on I'd say on things, but it's not to the extreme. Because I feel like every week... or maybe twice a week or something, there would be like some fight over something, right?
What, in the past?
Yeah.
In the past, I feel like we were doing like every other day or something. It was bad.
Yeah.
We were like always fighting.
Yeah.
Like everything. And it was one of those where like stuff built on each other. So like I'd get triggered at like something so small, but because now like this from the other day happened and like it was like a mess.
Yeah.
So I feel like it was constant. But, I mean, for her, the easy way out is leaving and not doing anything to yourself, like, about yourself.
You're just gonna end up in
so
the
that's
same
the thing.
place.
Yeah, like, when she's like, should I just leave? Let him... Like, I understand you're trying to have it so he gets a better relationship. That's well and dandy. But ultimately, I mean, what are you going to do? Because then you're going to end up in the same crappy situation and doing the same crappy stuff to someone else now.
Yeah.
Like...
I'm with it.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Well... on to the next part of this here. I want to talk about T.I. He brought his wife onto his podcast that he has expeditiously. Goddamn. And it was an interesting conversation. I finished part 1. I want to finish part 2, but I have a slew of podcasts I have to listen to before I can get back to it. But on part 1, him and his wife go into a conversation of, like, why do people get married? And Tiny says her mom told her that you should get married for financial stability and not love. I already know the answer, but for everyone listening, what would you choose? You can't pick both. I'm gonna say that. You have to pick one or the other. Yeah, I saw that comment. One or the other.
No, what I will say is I feel like what she said is like it sounds like she's saying it's just financial stability and not love at all. I feel like most people do have a healthy mix of both because it's just well, okay, in our society, right? Because I know there's still places where, yeah, you can't marry for love, but like in ours, we're able to do that, right? So like we go and we date and we find someone that, we like mostly and we want to, we see, hey, maybe you'd be a good parent or like, I like, how we could build this future together, whatever. So I feel like there's still a basis of kind of love there, but that the financial stability in this day and age is not a bad factor because, I mean, yes, we live in a day and age where most households are 2-income households at least. So, like, that's where I'm like, the whole not marrying for love, I mean, yeah, sure, I can see some people doing that for sure. Like, especially like if you're way, way young and you see someone who's like on death's door.
I don't care about anyone else. I still have not heard what you're picking.
That's hard.
Okay. So
because it's I really think it's a mix of both.
So
I would say I'm a mix of both.
You can't really have.
How?
Okay.
How is it not both?
Let's say if I was still that kid back at Target.
Okay.
And you're in your whatever position you are, and it's like we don't have the money, but yeah, we care about each other. It's like, what is that going to do for us? And you're sitting here like, man, I want to get a house. I want to get this. I want to get that. And it's like, I can't financially help.
Hold up. Okay. So this, again, another example. There are people who marry young, even like maybe a little younger than us, like say you were back at Target or something. And they start out where, yeah, they don't have a lot because most people, they start out that way. And then as their marriage gets longer, then they start to get more financially stable.
You're talking about down the road, though. But as we're working through
but I'm saying, so they got married for love and then found financial stability.
Who?
The people who, they're young, they get married, and then they work
Everyone's
their way
case
up.
is different. You can't really go based on that. I'm talking about me and you. I'm talking about you. Like, you're trying to say people. I'm just saying for you.
I'm giving examples of why this is, like, it's not just what she said. Do you not think that's a fair example?
Let me break it down for you. I'll say because you grew up in the middle class, so I get it. I grew up in the middle class, but I still understand it because I'm black. I get it. Someone that's in low income, doesn't have much, they're going to lean towards someone that's going to be able to get them out of that situation.
Yeah.
So that's why, as your mom's raising you, she's like, man, we're in this sucky situation. I'm going to teach my daughter to be like, yo, don't worry about love. Find you a man that has money. Like, that's what's going to get you out of this.
So then I guess we can go back to, it's kind of how you're raised.
But
because I was raised to see both. That listen, because of how I grew up and the whole parental dynamic and stuff, I was raised to value that, yes, there should be love and respect in a relationship because it's awful when there's not. And I was also raised that, yes, it sucks to always be in debt and it sucks to, always be complaining about money and all that. So, yes, that's important too. See, I feel like maybe that's what it goes back to then. Yeah,
but you can't. See, I understand it. I understand when you have nothing and someone that has something that, like, yeah, we may not be attracted to each other or see anything there, but you got the money.
That sucks then.
It sucks, but you gotta understand.
That's not fun.
It's survival, yo.
All right, I get that, but like, do you really want to be married to someone for 50 years that you're like not really liking?
Do you really want to be on the streets in a box with someone that you like has nothing with you?
Okay, well,
you gotta understand. You gotta look at this at the bottom.
Okay, so you know why I see where you're coming from. I can see where you're coming from that, yeah, you stay somewhere for financial stability. Mm-hmm. I get that.
Yeah.
in the worst of times and all that. But
like, it's survival. That's what it is.
But that's because it's.
I'm not
still
saying it's
sucks.
good. I'm not saying it's good.
Yes, and then if you have kids, then it's toxic, and it's this whole, hey, we're coming full circle here.
But I'm not saying it's good. It's just
so.
Okay, so and like I said, that's why I like rap music, and you don't like it because it doesn't.
I don't like it.
Well, you don't like what I listen
like
to because you look at it and you think it's like graphic, but it's like it's real.
God.
Like it's.
I like stuff I can relate to or jam to.
Exactly.
So,
but you can't relate to that because it's like, it's all.
Technically, neither can you. The stuff you listen to.
It's the struggle. Like, that's motivating.
I know, but the stuff you listen to, you can't completely relate to it either.
But it's still motivating.
You were not raised in the hood.
But it's still motivating.
Okay.
I still get whether I was raised there or not, I can still be treated like that as soon as I walk out the door. So I mean,
okay. Anyways,
but it's survival at the end of the day. It's like love is not gonna. I say this all the time. Like, I'm not. Like, it just happened like a week or two ago. We were fighting, and I'm like, dog. One thing is gonna not gonna happen is where we're gonna fight and you're gonna make me miss work or whatever. Like, that is not going to happen at all. Like, work is what's keeping us in this place, whether it's your work or mine or combined or whatever.
Yeah.
It is not like work is the number one thing that will always be there because love is not gonna pay the bills.
And I understand that. And I think, all right, if you want to take love out of it, though, like, it's kind of like how they say you should be like best friends with your spouse because that. At the end of the day, that's kind of more important than the love per se because that's more of the foundation and that's more of like friendliness is so much more important than like the hot steamy love, at like times of when you're a parent or whatever it is. So like what I'm saying is I still feel like that kind of element, sure, it doesn't pay the bills, but do you want to be completely miserable for your entire life too? Like emotionally? Do you want to be completely drained your whole life, unmotivated, and just live with someone you hate? Like, that is literally.
What if they're not? I feel like you look at the extreme because you don't have to. Yeah, you may not love this person, but you don't have to hate them. It's just a neutral.
But
it's like an indifferent feeling.
Hate eventually,
but it can turn to love.
You know what? Shut up. And then hate again.
But
because that's the thing. I look at both of them. Yes, I can't answer that. I really can't. What would you say? You're saying the financial stability is what it sounds like. But you have been always more that person where you are clearly like, I'm the more like, woo, romance kind of person. Like, it's always been that way.
I understand. So like, I have to get the bag, else I'm going to die. Like, I can deal if someone wants to sit there and nag and complain. All right, cool. We'll make living arrangements to like benefit both of us or whatever. But I need to be financially stable for me to be comfortable. That's my main like priority.
I get it. It's important. I get it.
Like love can be developed or not developed later on. Whatever happens. But I just and I liked T.I.'s take.
Yeah, what ended up happening here?
So okay, Tiny's of course, and T.I.'s take. His was, I don't even know if he answered this.
See, it's hard.
I could be totally wrong on it, or I just missed it when I was listening. But one point he made, which I quoted from him here, which is he says he went on to say that people have this wrong idea that like, let's say because him and his wife have money now,
that they've always had it.
No, they haven't always had it.
Oh, then what's the idea?
That it's like because they have money that they have less problems. You know how it is.
Oh, like we talked about Meghan Markle last week.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
And he says, of course, that isn't true. Obviously, we all know this. He believes.
Like you always say, more money, more problems.
Pretty much.
Technically, yeah. I mean, it can cost
family
more.
That's like, hey, send me 1,000.
It can get more complex. I mean, even if you want to get technical, because like, say you're not paying enough taxes, like there's a lot of stuff that can go wrong when you have more money.
So T.I. goes on to say he believes that as long as we can do our separate things and come together, everything can work out. Like you don't. It's not that you. I say it all the time to you. It's not. I don't say. It's not a want. Well, no, I don't need you. It's a want.
Yeah, we said that like last week or something too.
Was it last week?
Yeah, recently. Last week.
But nonetheless, it's like like when you don't rely on someone for like that financial piece.
Right.
It's like, okay, I don't need you for the money. I want this person because of how they make me feel, because I care about them, all that stuff. Like, that's he like.
It feels better to just want them instead of what she's saying, where you need them to live.
Yeah, but
That's true.
Yeah, that's what. But it's, I don't know. It's tough. It's a tough thing because you can't really do a case study on like a couple that like came from the bottom and all they had was each other, and to see what would translate to that. Like, I can't really think of any case where that's happened.
There's people,
but you can always think of like the cases where someone had no money and they found someone that had money. Like, you probably don't know this, but the guy, this was like years ago. He was the guy that like everyone called like, what do you call it, like Felon Bay or whatever. He was the guy that had tattoos on his face, but I guess his like eyes were cute and the girls liked him and all this stuff. His name was like, I think Jeremy Meeks. Okay, yeah, you don't know it.
Oh, okay.
But some of the people that are listening right now, they know this. So he when he goes out of jail, he got a deal with a fashion designer, and he also found his wife, his now wife, like in that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, man, he probably didn't love her at the time, but she had the money. So it's like you're coming from like literally the bottom where you're doing whatever, I'm not sure what you charge for, and you come out being signed to a fashion designer and then meeting your wife that is killing it.
I don't know. I'm like, whatever floats your boat. I don't think there's any way to say which is better definitively, because there's not. Like, I personally think there's a mix of both. So in this case, it's like whatever, tickles your pickle. If you like, if you don't give a crap about the person, but you go and marry them because they got money, cool. I don't care. It doesn't affect me. But I mean, that's what I think. What do you guys think? I think we should get some emails.
I mean, voicemails also.
And fine.
Voice messages.
Voice messages, fine. Okay. Or emails at pagingthesimpsons@gmail.com.
Or you can send a voice message through anchor.fm/.
Yeah, whatever you want to do. Email or voice message, okay? It's up to you guys. But tell us what you think. Let's get some opinions on this, because we're clearly divided.
I'm down. I'm interested.
We're divided.
Now here's one that I know you had a problem with, as we were talking about in pre-production. Ugh. So Kanye West bans his 6-year-old daughter from wearing makeup and crop tops. He quotes, "I think and feel differently now that I'm Christian."
Ugh. Really? What about your wife that wears like 5 pounds of makeup every day?
Yeah, but
can she not because you're Christian?
So this was on
again with this Christian stuff.
I believe this was on the Kardashians or something, where it came out and like they were having like a disagreement where it's like, oh, because you found yourself doesn't mean like you can go and like, change me or something like that.
Yeah. This is one of those struggles that would happen like in a marriage, is like, people kind of grow at different rates or they change differently.
This is what happened to Tasha and Jamie.
Oh my God.
Ghost, I should say.
Oh my God, babe.
I'm going to be talking
about real life right now, okay?
That is real life.
Okay. Now you made me lose my train of thought completely. First of all, I hate the whole when people blame stuff on being Christian. Like, I'm Christian, but I'm not gonna, like, I'm not sitting over here preaching like, oh, because of this, we can't live life or anything. Like,
okay, so do you agree when he says I don't think North should wear crop tops just because I had her wearing slip-on dresses?
I mean, a crop top's a little weird. Crop tops for little kids are kind of weird.
So what is she now, like 3, 4, 5, something like that? Like,
I thought she was 6, it said.
Oh my bad. Look at me paying attention. Just said. Yeah. But still, like, why?
I think, crop tops are a little weird. I mean, I feel like the only time you see, like, kids' bellies or, like, if they're in little, like, bikinis at, like,
even
on a
that's
pool.
Weird to me.
But, yeah, I mean, crop tops are kind of weird. But the makeup thing, I mean, hey.
Of course, you're against it.
Oh, big shocker, right?
No.
I mean, here's the thing. As a mom, I don't see myself letting my kid either, who is 6, wear like a full face of makeup either. Like, I'm not that extreme. But, I remember when I was younger, okay, in elementary school, Maybelline made this little like, it looked like a lipstick. Okay, so it was in a tube and it slid up and it looked like an actual lipstick, but it was clear. So it was like it was kind of like a balm, like lip gloss type thing. Made your lips shiny, didn't give you color, but you felt all like grown up with it. I remember, and I had that and I absolutely loved it. That was probably my first like actual little makeup item. And one time at recess, I was using it and it fell in the sand. And when I tell you I probably cried, like I was really upset. And so then eventually my mom got another, I think. And then I was a lot more careful. And I want to say when we moved, actually, that I found the container. And I'm pretty sure we have it here. Just because, like, for sentimental reasons. Like, it was my first,
okay, let me go find that so I could toss it for you.
No. Anyways, but so, like, something like that, totally cute. You know, it's age appropriate when it comes to that kind of thing, like kids wearing makeup. And I mean, if they want to say, like, I'm putting it on and they want to play and they want to put it on me, or they, you know, we're just playing and putting it on and not like going out with full face makeup, cool, fine. But, you know, that's all it is. Just, I mean, yeah, you let a kid be a kid, so nothing extreme, but you also can't just, like, why? It's like she's going to see, like, oh, mommy wears a lot of makeup. I want to try something. I want to try putting eyeliner on, even though it's going to go all over my face. Like, you know, it's part of playing at that point, really. And if you're really that hardcore, actually on Etsy, they make little fake, like, makeup palettes and, like, stuff like that. It looks super realistic.
Okay.
But they're like plastic. They're pretend.
Yeah.
So, like, if you're that extreme, I mean, maybe you can get something like that where they feel like they're putting something on. But, I mean, it's kind of like what I tell adults. It's just makeup. You can take it off at the end of the day. It's nothing extreme. Like, that's it.
How much? See, I'll be fine with it. It just depends how much you're putting on our daughter.
Well, that's what I'm saying. And like, for example, on a 6-year-old, 6-year-olds do not need like concealer or brow stuff or like things like that. Okay. They don't need to feel like their skin is imperfect or like whatever, you know, those parts of makeup. But if they want like, oh, I really want rosier cheeks and they want like a little bit of blush or something, like, okay, that's fun. That's whatever. Especially like, say it's like Easter or something and you're going out and like,
I mean, holidays are different,
you know, but
like, for example, are you putting lipstick on as the kid's going to school?
No. I don't think this would be like an everyday type of thing to begin with. And also, like I said, I had the perfect example. I went to school, but it was simply like a clear kind of gloss thing. That's more of what I would do. Like, I wouldn't, like, you're not going to wear red lipstick to school as a 6-year-old.
Okay.
Like, that's different. But I think it should be encouraged to play with it. You know, because I think kids should be encouraged to play with whatever makes them happy, because that can ultimately lead to whatever they want to do growing up. You never know.
Yeah. I mean, you're only saying that because it's like, oh, look, I did makeup and it led me here.
No. I'm saying it because I feel like you should encourage kids with whatever it is, whether it's arts, sciences, whatever, writing.
Yeah.
I think you shouldn't... Whatever it is, even if you don't agree with it, and if it's not harmful to them, like, you shouldn't discourage it, because you don't know where it could lead. Whether it's like a club they join or, you know, a job they get or whatever, like, it can kind of shape their life. So
I can see that.
Yeah, that's all.
Okay.
Why? What are your thoughts? Besides,
man, I'm indifferent. As long as it's not like extreme makeup, and as long as you're not like, oh man, here comes Christmas, I'm gonna get you a whole palette from Jeffree Star and Shane Dawson. You know
what? And that's okay. So that's what's annoying about kids nowadays, though. Too, kids are growing up faster. Because, like, a 10-year-old will get, like, an expensive palette. You want to know what I got at 10 years old? One of those Claire's cheap-ass, like, terrible, dusty eyeshadow palettes.
Yeah.
Like, the worst. But that's what you got because you were a 10-year-old. Okay, so you got, like, the crappiest quality, but you thought it was the coolest thing because you're 10. Okay? And because you're not really using it like that, like, all this stuff. Now 10-year-olds... Everyone's skipping the awkward stage and just looking amazing in high school. like with their makeup or like whatever, their clothes, like
oh yeah, because you got YouTube out here showing you all the tricks.
Exactly. Everyone, younger, when you look at like, for example, like the James Charles and what all the, like he's 20, so like, yeah, he grew up on YouTube, and so people are like, oh, if I'm that young, I can do that too, like at 14 or whatever. So yeah. That's the only struggle there, is like that'll be tricky when it's like when they start to become like preteens, and it's like they're like, I want to wear everything, and you're just like, okay, slow a little bit down. Like, you can wear more than a 6-year-old, but not as much as mommy wears.
Yeah.
Like, that's where it's kind of going to be tricky, because who knows where the internet and stuff is going to take us then. And it's like, yeah, I don't want to get you a freaking $60 palette if you're 10.
I'm not getting you any of that.
Huh?
Yeah, you're a good parent. I'm not going with any of that. I'm not getting him any makeup palette thing. We'll go to Target and I'll get you a little brush.
What the hell are they gonna do with a brush?
I don't know.
Wait, what age? That's where I'm saying.
13. I'll get you a brush.
13? They only get a brush? Sir. Okay, now you're getting a little extreme. That's extreme. No. Men. Ugh.
Oh, man.
Ugh. Let me ask you,
what?
A little kid, like 6 years old or whatever, would you let her put makeup on you? Like, just playing?
Sure, but I'm not going out with it.
Well, duh.
I mean, I don't care if she puts makeup on me. Sure, I don't care.
That's cute.
As long as I'm not going out with it.
That's just like me and my sister would paint our dad's nails.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I'm going to that extreme, because I gotta go wipe them off and all that
stuff. That's not
stuff.
hard, babe.
It depends on how cute my daughter is, which I mean, she'll be cute regardless. So.
I mean, obviously, she's coming out of me, so like.
She's coming out of you, but she looks like me, flawless. Thank you. So.
Snap.
Man, I'm sitting here trying to find.
He's just gonna glaze over that.
What? I'm just saying. Because I mean, if it came out like you, I'm gonna have to get the pitchfork.
Goodbye. Okay, guys, this is our last episode ever. Rude.
I mean, speak for yourself. I'll still be here with my cute ass.
Hey guys, welcome to the Simpson.
Wait, only Simpson. Oh shoot.
I'm joined by my lovely self.
Right? Just here. How you doing? I should put like a mirror right next to me. Look at the mirror, like,
God.
what are your thoughts on this, Shadell?
Oh my God,
doing real good.
That's funny. What are you looking for?
I'm trying to figure out what we want to do for relationship advice, because that one, I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
Prepared.
I mean, it's not that I'm not prepared.
Not prepared.
It's not that I'm not
prepared.
prepared.
The people want what they want. Give it to the people.
Okay, we're gonna do something a little different with this. With this ending of it. Because of course, the marriage is a little over a month away.
The wedding.
Marriage. Same
and the
thing.
beginning
Same
of the
thing.
marriage. There you go.
Same thing.
6 weeks from today, from the day that we're recording.
And
so 5 weeks and 5
we
days.
should have an update
sometime
later this month on everything.
Yeah, probably.
The end of the month.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if we want to drop on that like after Thanksgiving.
That's what I was gonna say, because I feel like the last Friday is Black Friday, and that might not be smart.
Yeah, I'm not sure if we're gonna drop that.
Maybe, or who knows? Maybe the first week of December, like as it's coming.
Probably. One last update before we head out, like on the whole wedding stuff.
Dun, dun, dun.
So I want to talk about this one, because this is an interesting one. We're not in this position, but who knows? Maybe it would lend ideas and suggestions to this person.
Okay.
So they say their first year anniversary. So we have officially been married for a year and have no money. What can I do for my wife?
Oh. Wait, is that it?
Yeah, that's it.
That's it?
That's it.
Oh. Well, first of all, let me tell you this. And sir, listen up. Listen up over there.
Go ahead.
I'm one of those, because I'm a romantic again. I like the little anniversaries. If you look them up, each year traditionally means something else. And I believe, if I'm correct, that the first year is the paper anniversary, which basically means that your gift to them has something to do with paper. So it could literally be like a love note. It could be like, what are those things people make out of paper, like a bird or something? What's that called?
Don't know.
Oh, where you like fold the paper, and I
origami.
think it's Chinese.
It's origami, dog.
Yes. Something like that. Like, basically, what these anniversaries are, and they get fancier, like, as you go, like, say, like, 25 years, 50 years, it's like, I think silver and gold anniversaries, like, things like that. So, like, I personally really think those are cute and sentimental, because what the purpose of that is, you're focusing on the relationship, and you're focusing on, like, what is something that I can kind of tie into this that symbolizes us. So, like, if you're with someone, because not everyone digs it, if you're with someone who digs that, that's kind of easier for you. It doesn't cost a lot or anything at all, maybe. And it has the sentimental factor. Or if you want to do something else, I mean, I don't know what you mean by no money, because, like, that's kind of subjective. If you have $20, you know, like, I don't know, go to the grocery store, get, like, some food and cook it up for her, like, because, hey, I love, like, when you, that anniversary, when I came in from work, and you had, like, well, you didn't cook it up, you ordered it, but still, he, like, surprised me with, like, he ordered, like, these steak dinners, and, like, you know, it doesn't have to be that fancy, but, like, when you do cook for me, like, I really like it, like, I like when you that's, like, again, it's focused on what can I do that's nice and lovely.
I'm gonna hit you because I got some ideas. So if you, like, have no money, like, no additional money outside of, like, your basic bills, groceries, all that stuff, here's some ideas that you may be able to throw together. Which one you can create your own card. Like, get some printer paper and get creative, create something, and write, create your own, like how cards have, like, a little saying in them. Create things that relate to her.
Make it a Hallmark moment.
And all that stuff. Like, that's one way. You get the card out the way.
Yep.
And, like, what I would do, I would add cooking to that. I would hope that you would have items in your house that you'd be able to cook a meal with.
Even if it's spaghetti and meatballs, you know, like,
and
just
something that she normally does. It could be, like, the smallest thing. Like, let's say if the person normally does laundry or something, say, like, hey, I'll take care of this, or so, like, I'll take care of some chore.
Yes.
Like, or you could do a few chores that week.
That's
whatever,
love right there.
Like, take care of, like, some of those, like, where it's like, hey, let me take this off your back, I'll handle these. Like, I mean, those are simple ones.
Or I have another one, which I don't think you ever ended up using any, or we never did them. I got you a few years ago the little love coupons. I feel like everybody's done some sort of version of this. Yes, you can technically order them on, like, Etsy, Amazon, whatever. I think I made them.
Yeah, you made them.
Yeah. So, like, you literally just, again, nothing fancy. You could just get paper, draw a little funny, picture on it, and it could be as, risque or not as you want. So like you made me remember because of the whole, like, oh, I'll do this chore for you for a week, or like whatever, and so that way it's like they redeem it, and it's like a fun little thing. And
man, I gotta use those. Like, stuck in my drawer somewhere.
Yeah,
you better still have them. Still probably.
Man, and I put that they never expire. I should have put an expiration date because they totally would have expired by now. But I mean, yeah, there's, like, a lot of, and honestly, look stuff up online. Like, there's a plenty of ideas, like Pinterest. Like, as long as you're okay with, like, getting creative, obviously, because you don't have a lot of money, so you have to, and say, like, even if she has a Bath and Body Works candle sitting around, you could light that at dinner, or, like, if you have one of those LED candles, say you don't like real ones or whatever, put that in the center of the table. Stuff like that.
Man,
like,
if you have a smart TV, if you want, like, normally the smart TVs have an app for, like, a fireplace. You can be silly and put on a little fireplace that's crackling. Yeah. Like, just let it be a moment.
That's what you did. You, like, dimmed the lights and we had the candles and you played the music and we were eating, and it was like
slow jams,
it was really
voice.
Nice. So
W9021.
Okay.
I know what.
So yeah, I mean, there's plenty of ways to do it. Again, but I honestly, it's kind of, dare I say, it's kind of nicer when you don't have a lot of money and you have to focus on these kind of things for the anniversary. you're focusing on the relationship and like the love between you and like what is the person like and how can I show them how much I love them, that kind of thing. Like that's actually nicer than getting something super expensive that like I may not even use next year. Like, you know what I mean? Like an expensive purse or something that then sits around. Like it's nicer and and I'm a memory and moment kind of person. So like for me, like, see, I always remember that. Like when I came in and I was all surprised and it was nice. You know, it was our first anniversary in the house and it was a big deal and like that kind of thing. So
yeah,
I'm all for it. So yeah.
Okay, I dig it. I rock with it.
Yeah, so remember those anniversary things.
Yeah, you too.
I'll send you a list.
It's coming up.
Well, no, these we would technically start at our first wedding anniversary.
Remember that.
Okay, remember that.
Yeah, same.
Okay.
Make sure it's a Tesla. I don't really like material items. But
I don't even think
that's one
the
material.
50th anniversary, if it's a gold anniversary, it's not even that expensive then. So, like, excuse me.
So you're telling me 15 years from now you won't even get
50.
me a Tesla? 50 years from now you won't even get me a Tesla?
Sir.
I'll be 76 by then. What?
Dang, we can be old.
What? You won't let an old man live out his dreams like that? You're going to really just kill me?
Man, you may not even be coherent enough to drive.
Who cares? Let me crash it. Let me stop.
Oh, my God.
Like, Grandpa, you go too fast.
Wow, you killing the grandkids? Oh my God.
Let me stop.
Wait till I tell our kids you said that.
Not the
Our future
grandbabies.
kids.
Oh God.
Oh my God.
That's all I got. Yeah.
You're crazy.
Is that all you got for us right now? You good? Guys, we're gonna roll out and wrap this one up here. Yeah, this is gonna be an interesting one. We're leading up to the wedding, probably sometime in December. I kind of want to focus more on like marriage or like wedding related topics a little bit as these Tuesday episodes progress. So you'll see that, but it's more so gonna be like a focus in like the 4 episodes that we have in December.
Yay! It's coming, guys. It's happening.
So yeah.
Yay!
I'm more forward looking at Christmas, but okay.
Our first Christmas married!
Oh my God! Guess what? It's gonna be the same way it was last year.
But we'll have rings on now.
Are you gonna scratch your last name off the mailbox?
Yeah, you know what? I don't know what to do about that because it's like the stickers and it's.
You just replace it. You gotta like put our names like at the top and then put the other name below.
I know, and I'm like, that's not gonna work out well because the stickers aren't gonna stick. Hi, Missy. Hi.
All right, guys, we're gonna wrap this one up and roll out of here.
But yeah, we'll be 10 days married on Christmas.
Oh my God, I'm so excited.
And guess what? People will already be like, so when are you having kids?
I'll be like, that's not happening for a couple years.
And I'll be like, mind your business.
Yeah, we already got one.
People have already asked me. And I told my hairdresser this the other day when she was doing my trial. Because she was telling me, she's like, oh, just wait, they're going to start asking. And I told her, I'm like, they're already asking, like, you know, it was like 6 months before the wedding or something. They're like, oh, like, you know, when are you going to have kids? And I would tell them, like, well, I'm not trying to, like, be completely showing and pregnant at my wedding. So, like, come on. Let's, like, let one thing happen at a time here. I understand people do it however they want. That's fine. Mm-hmm. But I'm trying to fit in my dress, too.
No, that's stupid.
That's a nightmare. Like, if you get pregnant and then, like, yeah, I mean.
No, that's stupid. Stupid, no. We're going to wrap this one up. As always, guys, if you're listening to this podcast on iTunes, feel free to give us a rate and review. Let us know your thoughts on the podcast.
5 stars, 5 stars.
Man, we would love to get your questions, thoughts, opinions, views, all of that. So feel free to send us an email. We'll read it on the next podcast. Send us a voice message to anchor.fm. We'll play it on the next podcast. Yeah. And with that being said, guys, I'm not going to mess this up. I'm Shadell, co-host of Paging the Simpsons. I am joined by my lovely fiance,
Lauren.
Killing it.
Almost wife. Hey.
Expect her to get very loud when that episode airs after the 15th.
No, it'll probably be the other episode.
Nah.
Of the week.
We gotta
of
do that
Christmas.
early. We gotta do that because.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. I don't know. You'll hear it. When you hear it, you'll hear it. Like, she's going to be like, oh, my God. And you're going to be like, oh, my God, my ears. Shoot, I got to turn this down. Shadell told me to.
Prepare yourselves. Take out your earbuds.
Man. All right, guys. With that being said, we will see you guys on the next episode.
Bye.
Peace out.